Welcome to today's debate, where we're diving into one of the most complex questions of our time. Is a fetus alive? And if it is, how should that impact our decisions on abortion? We have Anna, who believes life begins at conception, and Lisa, who argues that a woman's right to choose is paramount. Anna, let's start with you. When do you believe life begins? And what does that mean for the rights of the fetus?
Thanks, Max. From my perspective, life begins at conception. Scientifically, the moment a sperm and egg unite, a new DNA sequence is formed, one that's entirely unique. This is the beginning of a human life. At this stage, all the genetic information that defines a person is already there. By week 3, a tiny heart starts beating. I can't help but see this as life in its earliest and purest form. If we believe every human has the right to life, why should a fetus be different just because it's small and vulnerable? This isn't just a scientific argument. It's about protecting the voiceless. If we don't protect those who can't defend themselves, who will? Every heartbeat, every tiny move in the womb, it's evidence of life. To me, a fetus isn't a potential life. It's a life with potential.
Lisa, Anna believes that life begins at conception and that a fetus has a right to protection from that moment. How does that line up with your views? When, in your view, does life begin, and what does that mean for a woman's right to choose?
Thank you, Max. I respect Anna's perspective, but I believe that a woman's autonomy and control over her own body must come first. Scientifically, we define life by factors like viability, when the fetus can survive outside the womb, typically around 24 weeks. Before that, the fetus is dependent on the mother's body for survival. Until it reaches a point of viability, it's fundamentally connected to and reliant on the woman's body, making her right to choose paramount. I've spoken with women who faced unimaginable choices. Young mothers, women without support, those who were victims of assault. They were in difficult situations, and I believe they have the right to make decisions about their bodies without interference. A fetus has potential, yes, but until it can exist independently, its rights can't override the rights of the person carrying it. It's about compassion and recognizing the complexity of each individual's life and choices.
Anna, Lisa talks about viability and the rights of the woman over her body. How would you respond? Do you think these considerations play any role?
Max, I understand that pregnancies are complex and that women face real struggles. But for me, the core issue is that the fetus has a heartbeat, DNA, and developing organs long before viability. We can't base the value of life on dependency. After all, even newborns depend on caregivers for survival. At what point do we draw the line? If a heartbeat isn't enough, what is? And if we don't protect life at its most vulnerable, I worry about what that means for us as a society.
Lisa, how do you respond to Anna's point about dependency not determining the value of life? What makes a fetus different from, say, a newborn, in your view?
Anna, I hear you, and I respect the value you place on life. But my question is, whose life and future are we considering? A newborn is an independent being, but a fetus, until it's viable, is part of the woman's body. She is the one who bears the risks, the sacrifices, and the lifelong impact of the pregnancy. We cannot discount the profound effect that an unwanted pregnancy can have on a woman's life, her health, her future, her mental well-being. Yes, a fetus has potential, but a woman's rights, experiences, and choices must be respected.
So, we have two very powerful views. Anna sees the fetus as a life worth protecting from conception, while Lisa emphasizes the woman's right to choose, especially before viability. In part 2, we'll go deeper into how these views impact society and individuals. Stay tuned for what's shaping up to be a thought-provoking discussion. Welcome back. In part 1, we heard Anna and Lisa discuss when they believe life begins. Now, let's dig deeper. Both of you have strong views, but how do these beliefs play out in real-life situations? Lisa, let's start with you. Imagine a young woman facing a pregnancy from assault. How does your stance on choice address situations like these?
Max, cases like these are incredibly painful, and that's why choice matters. Forcing a woman to carry a pregnancy from assault can add unimaginable trauma. In situations like this, I believe it's essential to prioritize her autonomy, her healing, and her right to make the best decision for her mental and emotional well-being. She deserves the choice, the control over her future, especially after such a devastating experience. It's about compassion and respecting her ability to decide what's best for her life.
Anna, Lisa argues that choice is essential in difficult situations like assault. How do you approach this from a pro-life perspective?
Max, I recognize the pain in situations like these. No one should ever go through that. But from a pro-life view, the tragedy of the assault doesn't change the life that has begun. The fetus didn't choose these circumstances either. I believe we need to offer support to both the mother and the child, recognizing the value in both lives. There are ways to help, like counseling, support systems, and adoption options that allow us to protect life while caring deeply for the mother's well-being.
Lisa, let me ask you this. If the fetus is considered a life at any point before birth, how do you reconcile that with the idea of ending a pregnancy?
Max, this is where viability comes in. I believe a fetus is part of a woman's body until it can survive independently, around 24 weeks. Before that, it relies entirely on her for life. I see it as her decision to continue or end the pregnancy, because she's the one directly impacted. And in cases where a pregnancy poses serious risks to her health, she deserves the right to make a choice that considers her own life too. To me, valuing her autonomy doesn't take away from the value of life. It respects the complex reality of her situation.
Anna, what about cases where the pregnancy endangers the mother's life? How does the pro-life view handle situations where there are risks to the woman herself?
Max, when it comes to the mother's health, I believe we need to do everything we can to protect both lives. Medicine has come a long way, and many situations can be managed to save both the mother and the child. But if it becomes a direct life or death scenario, then we prioritize saving the mother. Pro-life doesn't mean ignoring the mother's well-being. It means advocating for both lives wherever possible, especially since every life has value.
So, we've heard perspectives on some very challenging situations. But let me bring this back to a broader question. Does either view ever see common ground? Can you envision a middle ground where personal choice and protection for potential life coexist?
Max, I believe middle ground is possible, especially with education and support for women. I think we could prevent unwanted pregnancies with better access to contraception, comprehensive sex education, and strong social support systems. For me, the goal is to reduce the need for abortion by giving people the tools and support they need to make informed choices before pregnancy occurs. Choice is essential, but so is making sure people have the resources to decide freely.
I agree that prevention and support are key. If we're able to offer resources, emotional support, and real options like adoption, we can create a society that values and supports life at all stages. I think we could agree on more compassionate support systems for both mothers and children, reducing the circumstances that lead to abortion in the first place. We may have different views on the details, but I think both sides can work toward a future with fewer abortions through support and education.
Thank you both for sharing your thoughts so openly. It's clear that questions about life, choice, and morality are incredibly complex and personal. To our viewers, we hope this conversation has given you new insights into both sides of this profound issue. Please let us know your thoughts. And remember, these aren't just debates. They're about real lives, real choices, and real impacts. Welcome back. We've discussed both the scientific and ethical aspects of the pro-life and pro-choice perspectives. Now, let's turn to the real-world impacts of these beliefs. Anna, Lisa, let's dive into how your views play out on a societal level. Lisa, from a pro-choice perspective, how does access to abortion impact society? What do you see as the broader effects?
Thanks, Max. Access to abortion is about choice and autonomy, but it also affects economic stability, health, and family dynamics. When women have control over their reproductive choices, they can make decisions that best align with their health, careers, and families. Studies have shown that when access to abortion is restricted, women, especially those in lower income brackets, face higher rates of poverty and struggle to support existing children. So, for me, it's not only about personal choice, but about enabling women to contribute fully to society without being forced into situations they're not prepared for.
Anna, how does the pro-life perspective see abortion restrictions impacting society? What are the broader effects you hope for?
Max, from a pro-life perspective, protecting life at every stage is essential to a society's values. When we allow abortion, we're saying that some lives are more valuable than others. I believe that if we create a culture that cherishes all life, from conception onward, it fosters respect, empathy, and responsibility. It's about creating a society where people feel supported to carry pregnancies to term because they know they'll have the resources and community support they need. Rather than relying on abortion, we could invest in better adoption systems, financial support for parents, and robust healthcare for mothers and children.
So, both of you seem to agree on the importance of support systems, but with different focuses. Lisa, you mentioned economic impact. Can you elaborate on what policies or resources you think would reduce the need for abortion?
Absolutely, Max. Prevention is key. Access to comprehensive sex education and affordable contraception are some of the most effective ways to reduce unintended pregnancies. We also need social policies that support parents, like affordable childcare, paid family leave, and healthcare. These resources empower people to make informed choices. And if we do all this, we reduce the need for abortion because we're addressing the underlying issues that lead to difficult pregnancy decisions. It's about building a society where people have the resources to bring children into a supportive environment if they choose to.
Anna, Lisa has mentioned prevention and support systems as ways to reduce the need for abortion. How does the pro-life perspective approach support for families and mothers?
Max, I actually agree that support systems are crucial. From a pro-life perspective, if we want fewer abortions, we need to make sure women feel empowered to carry pregnancies to term. This means improving adoption options, providing financial and emotional support for mothers, and ensuring access to health care. When we build a culture that values life, we're creating a network that says, "You're not alone." This way, even in difficult circumstances, women have the support they need to choose life. It's not about removing choice. It's about making sure the choice to have a child is supported.
It sounds like both of you see the need for more support and resources, even if your goals differ. Before we wrap up, let's end with one final thought. What's one thing you want viewers to take away from this conversation? Anna, let's start with you.
Thanks, Max. For me, I'd want viewers to remember that every life has value and potential. I know this is a complex issue, but I believe that if we build a culture of compassion and support, we can create a world where every life, born and unborn, is valued and protected. It's not about ignoring the challenges. It's about finding ways to help people through them.
For me, Max, I want viewers to understand that choice is about respecting each person's unique situation and challenges. It's not a decision people make lightly. I believe that trusting people to make the best choices for their lives, while also giving them the tools to prevent unwanted pregnancies, can lead to a society that respects both autonomy and compassion.
Thank you, Anna and Lisa, for such an open and thoughtful conversation. It's clear that issues of life, choice, and support are complex and deeply personal. Thank you to our viewers for joining us today. We hope this discussion helped you see both sides and consider the values that shape your own views. Please share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep conversations like this.